Hey guys, this is the review of the Apple AirPods Pro and I've been using this for about 2 months. In this video I'll be talking about my experience using this and also on the features, its sound quality, battery life and its compatibility. So let's see what we get inside the box. As I said earlier, I've been using this for a couple of months. So I've just put all the items back into this box. So firstly we get some documentation and this includes the pairing instructions, and then we get something about safety, and we get the warranty information, and lastly we get this regulatory and compliance information. Next we get this wireless charging case, and let me go ahead and open this plastic. So inside this case are the AirPods, and as you can see the medium ear tips are already pre-installed. We also get two additional pairs of ear tips of different sizes, and these are housed inside this small case. The small and large are here. And lastly in the box we get this lightning to USB-C type cable. So now let's take a look at the specifications and features of this AirPods Pro. It's got a noise cancellation and transparency feature. It has vents for pressure equalization, and it has a force sensor instead of the touch for controls. It has Bluetooth 5 connectivity and works on the H1 based processing chip. It is IPX4 certified and resistant to sweat and water. So now let's keep these things aside and take a look at the charging case. So this has been designed carefully for convenience and portability. So this case is magnetic and it is a bit narrow and wider when compared to the older generation of AirPod. It is compact and the edges are really smooth, and it can easily slide inside the small extra pocket in my jeans. The battery inside this case can be wirelessly charged. It works perfectly fine when tested on my Galaxy Watch wireless charger. It houses a bigger battery and this can hold charge that can give you a total runtime of up to 20 hours. When we open this lid, the AirPods are revealed. This is a little bigger than its predecessor, but the stem is slightly shorter than the older generation. This stem also houses a force sensor that when pressed can act as shortcuts to commands. For example, to activate Siri or to skip song, I can just go ahead and press this stem over here. When pressed once, it will pause the music or answer a phone call. Pressing it twice will skip to the next track. Pressing it thrice will rewind the song, and pressing it 4 times will skip to the previous track. This does not have any touch or tap feature unlike its predecessor. There is a pass-through cutout here, more like a vent to equalize the pressure inside the ear with that of the outside. This makes it much more comfortable to wear for longer hours. So this has a silicone earbud that actually isolates most of the external sound. Additionally, it has the active noise cancellation feature that electronically blocks or cancel out the noise from outside. This feature is really effective when you may be traveling in the flight or you're out in the streets. There is an outward facing microphone that detects the external sounds, which the AirPods Pro then counters it with the anti-noise and cancels the external sounds before you hear them. There is also an inward facing microphone that listens inside your ear for unwanted internal sounds, which the AirPods Pro also counters with anti-noise. These AirPods also sample audio 200 times per second and adjust the noise cancellation so that you hear only what you are supposed to hear. The active noise cancellation can also be turned on by pinching the stem of the AirPod until you hear a chime. After a second or so, you can feel the silence in your ears all of a sudden. Pressing and holding the stem again will switch to transparency mode. This is another feature on the AirPods Pro, and in this mode it lets the outside sound in so that you can hear what's going on around you. This mode is really great for people, including me, who may feel less comfortable when isolated with the surrounding sound. At least for me, this is really a nice feature as I get to know if some vehicle is behind me or if someone is calling me while walking on the streets. You can switch or toggle between these modes from the iOS or iPad OS device. In the settings, Bluetooth options, we have the options to toggle between these modes. I'm using an old iPad Air that's running on iOS 12, but the latest version of iOS and iPad OS devices, there is a third option called off, and this option will turn off both these features. Now, talking about the comfort level, this does fit nice in my ears, and I can easily wear this continuously for about 1 to 2 hours. You can choose from the 3 ear tips with varied sizes that you get in the box and pick the one that fits you well. Now, talking about my personal experience, the noise cancellation is great when I need some isolation from the outside world. This really works well. If I switch off the noise cancellation mode, then I feel some kind of an air pressure within my ear, and this gives a similar experience to me as for wearing any other in-canal earbuds. But when I switch into the transparency mode, it completely changes the feeling and the pressure somewhat gets released, and it gives me the same experience as though I'm not wearing the AirPods at all. Now, if you're doing workouts, then it may fall off if there is too much of head shake, but it completely depends on how it fits in your ears and how tight is the fit. It's got the IPX4 rating and it's sweat and water resistant for non-water sports and exercises. Talking about the sound quality, it's got good punch in the mids and the lows. When taking calls, the sound is crisp and clear on my AirPods as well as on the other side.
Hey guys, currently you're listening to the sound from the Apple AirPods Pro microphone. It's got good clarity in the voice, and there is a bit of a noise reduction as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.
So the microphone in this AirPod seems to be doing great here. The volume is amazingly loud when played music from an Apple device. When it comes to connectivity, it is as simple as pairing any Bluetooth headset. You just have to press the button on the charging case, and then you can easily pair this with your iPad or iPhone. On the phone, there is a cool animation that gets displayed while being paired, and also when we pop open the lid after it's paired. You can also use the Siri voice assistance feature by just saying "Hey Siri." Also, you can configure and activate the voice assistant when pressed on the force sensor. Now, these AirPods work on Android as well, but with some trade-offs. So firstly, the volume was half the level on my Redmi Note 8 Pro phone when compared to the sound while being played from an Apple device. In spite of turning on the disable absolute volume option in the developer options, the volume was too low. The second trade-off is that there is no way to turn off both the noise cancellation and the transparency mode on Android. So at any given point of time, either one of them will be on, thus consuming a bit more battery. We also lose some of the other features such as auto pause and play. And lastly, not so important, you just don't get any kind of animations when you pop open the lid, and also you don't get to know the battery levels as there is no display of it on the phone. But there are a couple of third-party Android apps on the Play Store. I tried 2 of the apps, but I could not get them working on my phone. Now let's come to the battery life of these AirPods, and this depends on how much we use the features such as noise cancellation and transparency mode. So I get about 4 to 4.5 hours of battery life with the noise cancellation on. And when I charge these AirPods using the charging case multiple times, I got a battery life of about 19 to 20 hours. A 5-minute charging in this case can provide around 1 hour of listening time and 1 hour of talk time. So these AirPods has been my daily driver for the past 2 months. I use it on my Android phone and lose some of the features, But I'm quite happy with the sound quality and specifically the noise cancellation and the transparency modes. I use it a lot most of the times. So guys, that was it on the review of the Apple AirPods Pro. Hope this was useful to you. If it did, then please do hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.